Well, there's the showmanship. As expected, Keith, the Americans doing all the fancy stuff, the wheelies, what the crowd obviously loves to see. Well, of course, as you know, Keith, I do go to quite a bit of two-wheeled sport, i.e. speedway, etc. And the Americans have really excelled themselves at that this year. They've got the world #1, the Bruce Pennell, the world champion, of course.
And don't forget, they've got the 500 motocross champion Brad Lackey, American, and the new 250 world champion motocross Danny Laporte. So it looks like the Americans are dominating all the two-wheel sports at the moment.
That's right, that's right.
And a little bit more showmanship there from, looks like #1 David Bailey. And away they go. And here they come.
Down goes the gate.
See who's going to be the first one to it. It's the Americans. Yeah, Americans. O'Mara again.
Thorpe was well up. Now what? That looked like Thorpe well up.
Yeah. But O'Mara's taking the lead. It's
O'Mara from Thorpe, I think. Just wait to come back into your view, Keith. It looked like O'Mara from Thorpe for me.
Yeah, it looked like Noyce was down at the moment. From this distance, we can't really see the numbers, but there are definitely 2 Americans, followed by Dave Thorpe.
Yeah, and there was a Belgian amongst them, I'm sure of it.
There, that looked like Jeremy Watley as well. So, all well placed again, but it's got to be the Americans.
Yeah, they really are supreme this afternoon.
So consistent. There, it's America, Dave Thorpe, another American, a Belgian. I think that was another American, and that was Jeremy Watley. There, I think that was Neil Hudson just going through.
Already at this stage, we've literally done 1/3 of the course.
Yeah, we're just coming round now to complete half a lap.
Yeah, there we go. We've got the American early dominance.
So round this hairpin, let's see who it is in the lead. It's O'Mara from Magoo, from Thorpe from Gibson. That was Diefenbach well placed there, the German. Watley. So we'd not picked up the American. Well, that's definitely not right. There's the American. Bailey, I think that was #1.
A little way down.
So yeah, one of the Americans down a little bit, but we'll see how the race progresses.
That's right.
We'll have to look for him again.
Long way to go yet, Keith.
Yeah, 1 lap completed then, and it's America 1 and 2. Great Britain 3rd. That's Vromans in 4th. Vromans 4th for Belgium. There's Gibson, followed by, that was one of the Germans, I think, and there's 2 Dutch lads, and followed by Neil Hudson.
So Neil's a little bit down.
Yeah, it's Bailey that's down. Bailey, #1, the American that's down.
In a minute, Keith will see him go down that long, steep slope. They'll really be screwing the throttle back to the stop before they come up to that adverse camber.
Into that very, very tight hairpin at the bottom. But it's still the Americans, 1 and 2. Thorpe pushing all the way though.
Yeah, Dave, as you know, Dave in the last leg had a tremendous ride.
Yeah.
So let's see what he can do in this particular leg anyway.
Yeah, there's Diefenbach. That's the guy that's going to do the charging though, because he had a tremendous ride in the first race. There's Noyce. Poorly placed again though.
Well, of course, Diefenbach did push for the laurels, but going back to Graham Noyce, as we said before, not having the best of rides this afternoon.
Definitely not. Look, there's Roman just passed Thorpe.
That's right.
So
has Dave got a little bit of problem?
Well, we hope he hasn't. There goes Watley through there, splitting a German and an American. And there's Jared Ron, followed by Neil Hudson, and there's Bailey. Bailey pushing along now, so he's got to make up lost time.
He's beginning to wind the throttle on.
There's George Jobay, #7, and there is Noyce with the green helmet.
Of course, we saw George, poor old George, was dropping back at the latter stages of the last leg, wasn't he?
Yeah.
But as I say, a long, long way to go. They're just beginning to pace themselves now. Of course, just going on about Dave Thorpe as we were early on, Dave is a great pace man, as you full well know, Keith.
Yeah, Vromans pushing Magoo now, so... But look at that hairpin, straight in and straight out, fantastic.
Really, really blasting that big Honda around there.
So, Dave Thorpe now into 4th place.
So Dave's beginning to...
He's still with them though.
Yeah,
he's still with the leaders. Watley goes through, Hudson goes through, so...
Neil's down, the big yummy.
Hudson's going pretty well now.
So I'll say, well, that'd be interesting, Keith, actually to find out Neil's comments on the 73. I'm 10 years out. on the 83 Yamaha.
Yeah.
Because obviously he's going to have a few teething problems with it earlier on, but it's obviously given him a good start to the forthcoming season.
Yeah.
As you can see, a few waves there for their own German fans there as the Diefenbach went through.
Oh, so O'Mara's back into second. Romans is down to third, followed by Thorpe. And those four pulling away from next man Gibson, and Gibson being pushed by Watley.
So Jeremy Watley's still going there.
Yeah.
Jeremy's still got it between his...
There's the leader though, Magoo from O'Mara. Romans is through and Thorpe's in fourth. Next man's Gibson. So it's still these Americans are so consistent.
Yeah, because...
And Watley being pushed there by Neil Hudson.
Because remember, on the European circuit, Keith, we don't have the pleasure of seeing these top Americans, do we?
No, the only Americans that we do have the pleasure of seeing over here, of course, are the two world champions anyway. Daniel Laporte, who's had a tremendous season, and
just shows you what kind of bloodstock's got back in the US of A.
Well, this is it, and it has been said that these aren't the top four American riders that are out here.
It certainly seems hard to believe, seeing the way they're chewing up the West German ground this afternoon. And chewing it up they are, because now we see a little bit of dust flying. So when we see a little bit of a crowd gathered together, i.e. riders, we do see the dust begin to fly. So these big nobbies are really ripping it out.
There's Thorpe though, and he's being dropped steadily.
But Dave looks so relaxed, don't you agree? He's so relaxed when he's riding that
look,
Kawasaki.
there's Diefenbach is past Gibson, and he's past Watley as well. So that's the man that's going to push everybody else.
It seems to me, Keith, it's a race of two different tracks. One minute we see dust kicking up, the next minute we see deep rutted earth. So obviously concentration's got to be at a premium.
It is a very, very hard circuit though. Very, very hard.
They have a gorgeous view of the West German countryside there.
There's Diefenbach being cheered all the way there from Gibson, Watley, Joe Bay, and I think Bailey.
Bailey. That's
So
right, Bailey.
Bailey's pushing all the way. And there's Hudson.
Seems that once the American boys see their counterpart within striking distance, they seem to, well, if there's room to put the throttle back anymore, they go for it.
Yeah, yeah. There's Romans in second place.
Romans is riding a consistent race though.
Yeah, from O'Mara. So they're gradually being strung out now.
That's right, bit of a gap now between O'Mara.
Yeah, there's Jack van Veldhoven, but of course Jack's a lap down.
Or more.
Or more. There's Thorpe being, Diefenbach pushing Thorpe all the way there.
Is it the crowd, you think, Keith?
It's got to be the...
It's got to be a great incentive anyway.
Yeah, he's going to be pushed all the way now, isn't he?
It must be very difficult when they come out of the shadows into the bright sunlight there.
Yeah.
Especially when they're in close contention as those few riders were. But I like to see the track is very well protected there, Keith.
It's marvellously set up. The Germans have done an A1 job of saying, Van Mierlo nearly lost it there,
That's right. But I mean, we were just reflecting then on obviously track safety. We see so many sports today, unfortunately, with a tragic end, and it's nice to see that people do care enough about people's lives.
The difference that we in Europe see between the famous now, the Ettelbruck track, and the way that this track is prepared, and
it's certainly been prepared with safety in mind.
Well, this is it. It's a pleasure to be here.
And what a pleasure that sunshine is. And look at the crowd.
Yeah, and what a pleasure to see these Americans. Because they really are dominating everything.
That's right. I mean, we're on about the Americans probably a little bit, but remember they're so far away from their native land, where of course all the Europeans, they're racing against each other throughout the season, aren't they? Most weekends. So it's a nice, refreshing change to see the stateside lads in amongst them, and they're certainly in amongst them this afternoon. In fact, the Europeans are in amongst the Americans because they're in a little bit of dominance at the moment.
Yeah. There's the leader, Magoo, with only a couple of laps to go now.
I say, let's be honest, he's not a foot so much a foot wrong as a wheel wrong. Off go the goggles there.
There's Romans goggles come down.
Probably getting a bit steamed up, but
there's O'Mara. But those lads must be steaming hot.
Am I right, kid? But these Americans have got the same sort of style.
It does seem that, doesn't it?
You know,
it's only the numbers that are putting us right.
That's right.
There's Bailey, the tallest of the four Americans.
But even him, a tall guy, seems to fit the machine that well. It looks like they're so relaxed when they're on.
I think it's definitely going to be the Americans.
Mind you, I think...
unless something really unexpected happens, it's got to be the Americans for me, Barry.
But just looking on the light-hearted side, I think it's the true stand. They've all thoroughly enjoyed the circuit and the racing this afternoon, particularly the competition, because obviously it's all about competition.
Yeah.
You have a fine view of the mass crowd
at the back there. Not one of them's moved. Stayed here.
I don't know about Mookie. The way they're knocking up some of them bits of loose turf makes you wonder, doesn't it? But I know exactly what you mean. They're really, thumbs go up there for the Belgian rider gone through there.
Yeah. And this is the leader. I think this time it's his checkered flag. A quick look back, and it's Magoo.
Yeah.
2 rides, 2 wins. What a rider!
What can you say? Well, in fact, what can you say? He said it himself.
Yeah.
There's a checkered flag. I've done it again. It's so easy, he thinks, but of course it's not.
There's Romans go through, and look at Diefenbach.
He must have
ride from Diefenbach, charging through from 2 fairly bad starts, you'd say, but that's a tremendous ride from Diefenbach.
Because
there's Jobé comes through, and now it's Gibson. Gibson's through, and we've lost Thorpe. Here's the results. Danny Chandler first, of course, followed by Andre Vromans from Belgium, Johnny O'Mara, USA, Rolf Diefenbach, George Jobé, and David Bailey, the third of the Americans. So 3 scoring Americans in the top 6 again.
What else do you want?
Well, there they are, first overall, Barry. The Americans with 23 points.
Fully deserved.
David Bailey, number 1. Superb ride for me.
Say one thing, Keith, the nation would be mighty proud of them.
Yeah. Johnny O'Mara, Magoo, and Gibson. But Magoo, something else.